Welcome back, my dear students. So now in this particular video, we're going to be understanding the Elementor basic styling. And we're going to be taking a look at layout, style, and advanced tabs. And we're going to be taking a look at that, and we're going to be understanding a basic know-how about it. So if you take a look at this particular website that we were designing right here, and now let's suppose that I want to edit this heading. What I will do is that I will right click on this heading right here, and here it says edit heading. Okay, when I just click on it, I am taken to the heading panel where it is just giving me three options. The first one is actually the content, then we have the style, and then we have the advanced. Now if you take a look at this, content, style, and advanced. So these are the three main basic things that Elementor provides give you for the basic styling of your particular element. Similarly, instead of this element, if we go into this section right here, which is the blue line, and we just right click on it, and here we just click on edit section, then we will be taken to the edit section panel, and here we are getting the layout, style, and advanced. And if you take a look at it, we have got the layout, style, and advanced. So in this particular video, we're going to be talking about the section, column, and element basic styling. Let's just go ahead and let's first talk about the section. So for the section, you can control the height of the section, the inner width, the background color, background image, and overlay. Now if you take a look at this website right here, then this website is actually built using the Elementor page builder. Now this whole thing that is coming right here, this whole thing will be actually considered as a section. And in this whole section, we have applied a background image, we have applied a height, and we have also applied like the inner width, like what is the inner content width of that is going to be. And similarly, we have also applied a background overlay. Similarly, this thing that we are getting right here will also be considered as a section. This white thing will also be considered a section. This thing will also be considered a section that has a column inside it, and that also has an intersection, and that intersection contains 4 different columns in it. Similarly, if we go down, we have got a full section right here that has a height, that has 3 of the columns right here, and that has the images. Now we go down, we have got another section, and inside this we have got multiple things, and then we have got this testimonial, and then we have got this another section. So if you take a look at this, like this whole website that we have over here, now it contains a lot of the sections right here. So if you take a look at this, you can see that this is the website that contains multiple sections. And multiple sections, this section contains a background image, this section contains a color, this section is just like white color, this section contains an image, this section contains white color, and this section contains an image with a background overlay that's coming. Now, how can you design this? So let's just go ahead and let's take a look at it. What I want you to do is to go ahead and make sure that you do not have anything right here on your Elementor page builder, and there should be nothing coming. And what we will be doing is that we will be taking a look at the height right here about this particular section. So what I want you to do is to go ahead and select your first column so that you have your one single section with a one single column. And now you can go ahead and you can drag your heading element, and then just go ahead and change this to welcome to my website. All right. And now let's go ahead and let's align this to center. Now what we want to do is that we want to work with the section styling. So let's just go ahead and let's do that. Now when you want to go into the section styling, you can see that when you bring your mouse to this and this blue line is highlighted, that means that when you will right click on it, it will give you the section option. So if you right click on it, it just tells you edit section. And if you right click here, it will just tell you edit section. So you can click on it and you will be taken to the edit section panel. Now we have the layout. So let's suppose that we want to apply a minimum height to our section. Now when you want to do that, we have got this height tab over here, and now you can go ahead and you can set this to a minimum height, and you can see that our section has been given a minimum height. All right, and if you take a look at this website right here, you can see that this is a section and it has now got a minimum height. All right, so now let's take a look at this and let's see about the inner width of this particular section. So the inner width is basically like how much width is going to be for this particular like content that is going to be coming up in here. Now let me show you why do we use the inner width. So this is basically the width, all right? And let's suppose that I just increase it and I just decrease it and I just increase it. Now look at this. This column sizing basically decrease. And when I just increase it, you can see that this column size is increased. Similarly, for the default, we set it to 1200 pixels so that it just matches the layout of our particular website. And whatever the content that we will be adding into here will be in a much more aligned way. So if I just go ahead and I just zoom out this website, then you can see that the content of this website is starting from here, and right down below, if we go down, this content is aligned in this way. That gives a great impact of this particular website. So you can see that our content is just in this particular area, and this is not going beyond that. So even if this particular website is actually viewed on a 4K LED, the content will be aligned with 1200 pixels, but the background images may go beyond that. And that is how websites are actually designed. So that is why you have to control the width of this particular section, and you basically have to set this to 1200 pixels so that it just matches the entire layout, and your website will be aligned in this much area, and whatever that is going to be beyond this area, that will contain only the images, that will contain only the like extra background images or the overlay about the sections, that will contain only that. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about the background color. So when you want to upload a background color to your particular section, how you do that? What I'm going to do is that I'm going to right click on it and click on edit section so that I'm taken to the edit section. And when you want to go into the background color, you actually go to the style. And right here, we've got this normal styling. You just have to select a classic style. And now you have to click on this color right here. Now you can go ahead and you can choose any color from here, and you can just go ahead and you can do it like that, and then you can stick with that particular color. So you can see that this is how now my particular section is applied with a color. Let's talk about the background image. When you want to upload or add a background image to your particular section, what you need to do is to go ahead and select the image. And then what you can do is that you can choose your image, and then you can click on insert media, and then there is going to be your background image coming onto your particular website. You can see this is how this particular image is coming, and how cool is it looking. Similarly, you can also upload a background overlay on top of it, usually in the section. Let's just go ahead and let's right click on it. Let's click style, and now here you should see this background overlay. Now here on the top of the image, you can upload an overlay of a color so that this particular text should be visible to you. What you can do is that you can go to the color, and then you can add any color over it that is actually a black color, and now you can see that this text is much more visible to me. Similarly, you can control the opacity of it so that the opacity can be either darker or lighter so that the text is much more visible to you. And you can see that how the look of our website is actually changed by just styling are section only. So this is actually the power of section. Now there are a lot of different things that you do with this section, and those particular things will be explained to you as you will be progressing with this course and designing your homepage. These were the most used styling for the section. Let's just move on and let's take a look at the elements over here. So element styling are usually done with the content, color, and font size. These are the main basic stylings that we usually do in an element. So let's take a look at it. What I will do is that I will right click on this text right here and I will click on edit heading, and I'm taken to the content, style, and the advanced, and this is actually the edit heading window. Now here, usually the element styling are usually done for the content. Like you can align this to right, you can align this to center, you can align this to left, or you can even change your content right here. You can add a link on it so that if someone will click on this text, he will be taken there to that particular web page. Similarly, you also can change the color and you can work with the font size. So if you go into the styling right here, we have got the text color. We can change this to white. All right. Now we have got this typography. If you click on it, you have got this size. All right. So you can increase the size of your particular text and you can see how much it's now bigger. Similarly, you can go into the font family and you can choose any of your font and you can see how this is changed and how cool is it looking on right here. Now remember, when you are using fonts, make sure to use simple fonts like Open Sans on your website. And the reason for that is because like simple fonts usually make your website to be like much more professional rather than using the funky fonts that we chose before. Similarly, you can go into the weight, you can decrease the weight, and you can see how much boldness is decreased and how sleek it's now looking. And you can particularly work with like styling to be like, if you want it to be italic, it's going to be italic. And the transformation, so if you want it to be uppercase, it's going to be uppercase, just like that. And you can see that how the look of our website is just changed by just editing the section and the element. Similarly, these were the element settings for our heading. Let's just go ahead and let's take a look at another one. Let's suppose that if I want to use a button right down below, you can see that here is a button that's coming. Now I can align this to right, I can align this to left. Similarly, I can go ahead and I can even change its text. Like let's suppose that I just change its text to shop now. Similarly, now in the content, like the content settings, we can go ahead and we can like add an icon over here. So let's suppose that we just choose our icon library, and in here we just search for a shop. All right, and you can see we've got this shop icon over here, so we can just click on insert and you can see that we have got an icon. If you want to use an icon, you can choose this. Otherwise, if you do not want to use icon, you can just go ahead and you can do that. And if you want to use it, you can just go ahead and use that right here, and you can see how it's looking. Similarly, you can work with the color and the font size of this particular button as well. If you want someone to be redirected to the shop page, you can just type in here shop. It's just going to search for the pages that contains the shop, and you can see that our shop page is right here, so you can click on that and its link will be automatically added over here. Now let's go to the style to work with the styling for this particular button. Similarly, we have got the typography where you can increase the size of your button, you can decrease it. Similarly, you can choose your font family, so we're going to be using Open Sans, that's going to be here. And you can even work with the weight. You can make it to be less bold, more bold, or whatever you want. Now we have got this color. You can change its color. So let's suppose that we want to use the color that we are using for our website, and we're going to be choosing it to be blue. All right. And now you can see that how the look of our website is just changed. Now we have worked with the content, color, and font and size. And these are the usual stuff you basically do with Element. We have now worked with the button. Let's take a look at another thing. Let's just go ahead and let's go down and let's add this particular image on top of it. This image is actually added. Now I'll just click choose image, and let's suppose that I choose the logo image to be added over here, and you can see this is how this image is looking. Now what I will do is that I can change the image size to be like medium, and you can see how this image is working. So now for the image styling, what you can do is that you can go into the style and you can work with the width of the image. So let's suppose that you want to increase it or you want to decrease it, and you can work with the image styling just like that, and you can see how cool is this particular image is working. Now for the image, we usually do not have to work with the color and font size, but we basically have to work with the width of the image, like how much width you want it to be given. So these are the basic things you usually do to an element. Let's now talk about the column. So the columns can be just like working up with the width, the background color, the box shadow, and the border. Let's just go ahead and let's take a look at it. What I will do is that I will come up here, and now I will be adding 2 columns in it. Now in the first column, what I will be doing is that I will be adding an image widget, and in the second column I will be adding a text widget, and then I will be adding a text editor right down below. I will go ahead and I will copy it and I will paste it right here. Now you can see that how this text element is coming. So right here it says the width of the column. Now the width of the column is usually taken by taking the 100% of all the columns, and then you can divide them by the number of columns. So let's suppose that right now we have 2 columns. All right. Now each of the column width will be 50%. So let's suppose that now I want to make this image to be smaller, or this image column to be smaller. What I will do is that I will right click on it and I will click edit column, and I will change its width to be like 30%. And you can see that now this is 30%, and now this will be automatically set to 100 minus 30. That is going to be, if you right click on it and click edit column, that is going to be automatically 70. Similarly, now if we set this to 30, then this will be turned to 30, and this will be turned automatically to 70. Let's suppose that if we add a new column over here, then you can see that how the width is going to be effective. This doesn't have any width, this doesn't have any width, and this also doesn't have any width. So by the default, this will be 100 divided by 3. So what is actually 100 divided by 3? That's actually 33.33. So let's suppose that I just go ahead and I just select this column and I just click edit, and I just set its width to 34. Now this will be automatically turned to 32.3, and this is also will be like edited. So let's suppose that I just change this to 33. And now if I just come up here and I just click on it, you can see this is actually set to this. Similarly, if I want to increase its width, I'm going to set this to 50%, and now this is 50%. This is 34%, and now this will be changed to 15%. So how cool is it? Let's just go ahead and let's get rid of this, and you can see that this is how it's looking. Similarly, you can control the width of a column by just dragging it to be right here, and you can see how this percentage that's been coming up right here. And you can bring it here, you can bring it here, and this is how it's going to be effective. Similarly, the columns are usually used for the background color. So if we take a look at this column, like let's suppose that we want to add this column to have a color. We will right click on it, we will click edit column, and we will go ahead and we will go into the classic, and now we will upload a color, or we will add a color. And you can see that the color is being given to this particular column, and this column is empty. Similarly, a column usually is given a box shadow and a border. So if we take a look at this column, all right, or this column right here, we will just click on edit column, and now you can see that upon we going into the border, we've got this border and we've got this box shadow. What I will do is that I will select this and I will change its color to be red. Now you can see this box shadow is coming on this particular column right here. So if you take a look at this, there is a box shadow. Not only that, there is also a border that is used for the columns most of the time. So if we take a look at this column and we just click on edit column, and now we go into the style, and now if we just go ahead and we go to the border, we have got this border. All right, now what I do is that I change this to solid, and now there is a solid border that's been given to this particular column right here. So these are the main basic styling of actually column. Now we are fully done with the basics of Elementor Page Builder. So now from the next video, we will be going ahead and we will be working up with our styling of this particular Elementor homepage. So stay tuned, guys, and bye-bye.